1 minute until showtime.
Hey. Oh, that was 90.3. Very sad. Very sad. You'd find better in a rest home. Really. You want to try it one more time? Hey, that's better. It's 90, almost 94. I think we can go with that. Yeah.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, from the world's most famous beach, from where beach racing began, it's the Legends of Racing radio show. Live from racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill in Ponce Inlet, Florida. The Legends of Racing radio show. And your host, Buzz McKim.
Whoa!
Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Appreciate that. We got Rich Combs here today as my trusty sidekick.
Absolutely. It's a great morning. I don't think I've ever been here any day that's any nicer. That cool breeze, sunshine, waves, it's great.
Yeah.
North Turn's always good, isn't it? But this is a great day.
Yeah.
We've got a great guest also.
Oh, my goodness, yes. It's going to be fantastic. We thank everybody out there watching, and thank you for tuning in to see what we're doing. And we've got a guy here. He knows where all the bodies are buried. He worked for some of the best teams and was really famous in his own right, I think. He's one of my heroes. Mr. John Mulloy.
John, thank you very much.
Yeah. You worked on the Cup circuit for quite a while, right?
Yes, probably 25, 26 years.
Is that right?
Whoa.
Well, oh, my gosh. Now, how did you get started in racing? Were you just a kid hanging around the racetrack?
Yes, sir. There was a racetrack down the street from my mom's house. My dad had passed, and it was probably a mile. And I used to go down there. I started going there like 8, 9 years old, and this is back. My mom would be in jail now because, I mean, she just let me walk down the street and go to the races. And I'd stand in line, and I'd look for an older person. I said, can I go in as your son or go in as, because it was under 12 was free. So I go in and watch the races. And after the race was over, just a dirt track called Leo Speedway in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And after the race is over, they let you in the pits. Well, maybe like 11, 11:30 at night, my mom be out there driving around like, where are you? Could I be in there and the drivers let you sit in the cars and talk to the drivers and things like that? So that's kind of how it all started. And I mean, that's how the love for the sport came.
I'll be darned. And then you got hooked up with local drivers?
Yeah, I helped a local driver at WIR Kaukauna, and he ran Sportsman Series and helped him. But, I mean, at the time you're working and paying for a house and things like that. And in 87, I was got divorced, and it was like, I want to work on a Cup team. And Rusty Wallace was doing an autograph session at a place called Fleet Farm, and I walked up to Rusty. I said, I want to work on the NASCAR team, and he asked me what I could do. I said, well, I'm working as a sheet metal apprentice right now. I can weld aluminum, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And he gave me his own business card.
Really?
Yes, he was working for Cliff Stewart at the time.
Okay, right.
Gave me his own business card, and he said, if you come to a race, give me a call. So I called him up, and he said, what race you coming to? I said, I'm coming to Atlanta. And this was 84 or 5. And he let me in. I mean, when the race was over, he says, okay, and he got Darrell Bryant was his crew chief. Darrell Bryant, I went and found Darrell Bryant, and he walked me in the garage area, and I'm like looking around, and Rusty said, you're in here, make the best of it. So it's okay. And the people that I talked to, like Waddell Wilson and Richard Childress and people like that, people that I thought would blow you off, they were the nicest people that could be. They were like, if you ever come and move down south, come and talk to me. And Richard.
Really?
Yeah, Richard he said, you ever come down there, come and talk to me. And that's what I did. And so in 87, my divorce is finalized, and I helped Kowicki a little bit in between there. And I went and stayed at his apartment, things like that. And worked like a week in his shop. And nice gentleman. And went back home, and I was like, okay, this is time to go. So I packed all my stuff, put it in the back of my truck, went and put it in a storage bin, and I stayed in hotels. And I went and helped Michael Waltrip and lived with him. I was staying in a hotel down the street in Statesville, and I always remember I had a round bed.
Yeah.
But it was only like 10 or 15 bucks a night. So that's, I mean, because you're paying. I mean, I didn't have any money, so you're paying for all this, and you're going in there, and I helped Michael Waltrip with Dick Bear on the team, and I kept talking to Richard, and he said, "You come by and see me." So one day I went by him, and he came in, and he goes, "We're looking to hire somebody." And so he took me back there and introduced me to Cecil Gordon, and then it was like I came back that day, and I was like, man, they're pretty interested in me. So I went back the next day because Kirk was there because they were testing. Because back then you could test every week, and we tested every single week. And so I went in there, and they said, well, what can you do? I said, well, I can weld aluminum, so Kirk, so come back here. And I said, I'll work for free, which is something that they want to hear. And I worked for like three or 4 weeks without getting paid.
Really?
Yes. And I was living with Michael Walter because he said, well, you need a place to stay, you can just stay with me. And so I went there, and I went and built an air cleaner. And it was kind of, I would say the work wasn't quite up to cup standards, but it was good enough. And we raced the air cleaner, so obviously it was good enough. So that's how the ball got rolling. And it was a Wrangler car in August of '87.
No kidding.
Yes.
I'll be darned.
Yep.
Now that Dick Bear car, was that the Hawaiian Punch car?
Actually, it was right after that. It was a 30 car with all pro auto parts on it. It was right after the Hawaiian Punch car was '86. This was '87.
Okay.
And that's when Bahari came right after that because Bahari bought the team from Dick Bear at about that particular time.
Yeah. Well, Michael Waltrip's a little crazy, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's a great person.
Yeah.
He was fun to see. He was fun to stay with because in the apartment complex we had like myself and John Leisensberger and Mark Cronquist and everybody that lived there. Barry Swift. Everyone stayed in the sport for as long as I did. And we'd go to Hickory, go to the bars, and hang out and stuff. We're just a bunch of kids, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really, it was a pretty good time in my life. I can't complain.
Well, you know, when Michael was driving for Hawaiian Punch, he was a rookie, and he was on an early morning talk show in Atlanta one time, and he wanted to plug his sponsors. So the host said, well, if you get a famous race driver on the phone, I'll let you plug your sponsor for the rest of the show. So he wakes up Daryl. Daryl's in Tennessee an hour early, and he says, can you do me a favor? Daryl said, yeah, what you need? He said, do you have Bill Elliott's phone number? That's Michael for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So how did you and Kowicki cross paths?
He was racing at Wisconsin at WIR, and I went up to him, and he was starting to run. This is 86, 85, someplace in the Quincy's car. And he was racing there, and I said, I'll work on a cup team and all that kind of stuff. He says, what can you do? I asked him the same questions. You know, I said, well, come to a race and help me. Well, another guy that I was there with, he would help Kowicki every once in a while. So I went to Michigan and helped Kowicki at Michigan. And after we got done racing the race, we went back to Wisconsin, and everything was, and the phone rang, and Kowicki called me. He said, do you want a job? And I was like, well, I can't come down there until my divorce is finalized and my house is sold. So that's kind of how that worked out. But I went down there and helped him in a shop for a week, stayed with him and learned some stuff there. And I went back to Wisconsin. And by then, Kowicki had hired all the people that he needed because he got Xerox for a sponsor.
Yeah.
And he had everybody. But then I went to Daytona, and I said, do you need help at Daytona? He goes, I don't need any help. But he said, James Hilton needs help. So he gave me James Hilton numbers. I called them. I went to Daytona. I didn't have any place to stay. I stayed at the rest area out there at 95.
Really?
Stayed there every night, and I went there and helped, to help James Hilton, and bought an NASCAR license myself to get in, and I went to the car, and no one's around the car. The car cover's on it. It's like, these people aren't even working on their cars, and everyone else was out there thrashing. So I knew some other guys, and they hooked me up with Curb Records, and the driver was Ed Pym in the '98 car.
Oh yeah, right.
And that was probably right after Sterling drove or something like that.
Right.
They hooked me up with them, so I helped them for the whole week, and they gave me a place to stay where I slept on the floor in the hotel. And I mean,
better than the rest area.
And I always remember somebody said you have to pay your dues to get ahead.
Yeah, well, you certainly did.
Yeah.
Certainly did. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. That's such a great story to start off with. I think I better take some pills or something here to be able to handle the rest of it. Is this not racing? Is this not what we're supposed to do here?
Yeah.
Wow. That's great. I'm going to go home and record this and listen to it over and over. This
Yeah.
is motivational, inspirational.
Yeah.
Good job, man. Whoa.
Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's great.
You know, the kids coming up today need to hear this story too.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Most definitely.
I saw the other day where Gibbs was looking for employees or help. It's like, I can't believe these race teams have to go and put ads out for people to come to work for them anymore.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's amazing. You know, it's like, so I mean, I guess that's how it goes now. You know, plus they get benefits, they get vacation time. It's like
a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend that worked for Cliff Stewart there for a while. He's making $300 a week and thought he was sitting on top of the world.
That's when I started at Childress. When he started paying me $300 a week.
Is that right?
Yeah, and Steve Meal came up to me when I started with Earnhardt or whatever and said, "Hey, I'm starting this new team with this road racing guy named Jack Roush." Steve he's one of my heroes in racing.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm starting this team with Jack Roush, and we're gonna Mark Martin's gonna be the driver, and we got a sponsor and all this kind of stuff." I said, I think Childress hired me, and I said, "I've been going there for a couple weeks now working." He goes, "You need to stay there."
Oh, really?
That's what he said. But at the end of the year, though, I mean, I started $300 a week. I still have my paycheck stubs.
Oh, no kidding.
I kept them, and then they offered. And I think then they put it up at the end of the year to like $350 a week, and Steve offered me, I think, $5 or $550 a week.
Holy cow!
Right.
Is that right?
And I told Kirk about it. And Kirk said, "You know, Richard, he's been in this sport for a long time. He's not going anywhere. He knows everybody, things like that." So I think they bumped my salary up to $400 a week.
Well, there you go. That's better than nothing.
No, I mean, I couldn't complain. I mean, I included. I mean, whenever there were seats on the airplane or whenever I could get riding the van, I would go to the races because you had children, so you had to pay your dues. There was times that were like, I remember going to like Talladega or Daytona, and there were seats on the airplane to fly back, and Richard said, "Ride back in the truck and give." Ted Harrison was the driver back then. Give Ted some company to ride back, and you rode back, and you got back at 3, 4 in the morning. You're there at 7 a.m.
Is that right?
Yep. There was no 12 hours or 8 hours in between. You came back to work, and
you wanted to see what you were made of. Huh?
That's right. Be there on time. You had to pay your dues.
Yeah. He's a fair guy, though, isn't he?
Who, Richard?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's probably working for him. He was like working for a friend.
Really?
I mean, he is such a good person to me.
Yeah. We've had him on the show. He was terrific.
Yeah.
Just a great guy.
Yeah, I think the world of Richard Childress.
Yep.
He's.
But now, when you worked for Kowicki, you saw some kind of idiosyncrasies, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Like when I stayed with him, he had all these. I remember he had Dale Carnegie, "Win Friends, Influence People."
Right.
He had the book laying there, and he had all these signs around his apartment. You can do this if you can believe it. All these inspirational things, and stuff like that. But it's like obviously it worked for him, and it was like. So that's what I saw when I saw for him, and I think at the time we were with, it wasn't Bear, it was Norman Agree. We're sharing a shop.
No kidding.
We're sharing a shop with Norman Agree, but I only worked for him for a week because I still had a job back then. So I mean, I had to go back to work, and finally it was like, this is I'm going to follow my dream and do this because I mean, worst thing you can do is fail, and I knew when I left it's like I'm not going to fail. I'm gonna do what I can to be successful.
So there was no if about it.
No, there wasn't. I knew when I drove away from when I left for the last time. I knew when I left. It's like I'm not coming back.
That's great.
Do this.
Talk about inspiration.
But I think there's a key statement made. I'm just listening to this, and he says, I had to leave it because I had to go back to work. That meant what he was doing was not work. It was fun. He was living his life.
That's right.
Beautiful.
I can say it, and I would have done it for free.
Yeah.
I mean, not many people can say, but when the sport that I was in it, I mean, obviously you need money to live, but it's like I would have done it for free. And not many people can say they could. And I mean, I look forward to going to work every day.
Well, most of the folks that are listening to us, the few that are here in the audience right now and those that are on YouTube later, they all know what you're talking about. They've been there. That's what they want to hear. That's the story. That's the biggie.
Yeah.
You're just validating it, man.
Yeah.
And not taking no for an answer either.
That's right. Yeah.
No.
Well, you talked about Dick Bear. Did you know Dick at all?
Oh, I knew him real well.
Did you? Did
he
you know
was a great person.
His brother Bob?
No, I didn't know Bob, but I remember when Dick went back to help build New Hampshire Speedway with Bob. But that's as far as it went. But Dick was a great person. And Dick said, "Man, I wish I could hire you, but I just don't have the money."
I'll be darned. Well, I heard a great story about Bob Bear yesterday. He was a guy that you said no to, and he took no for an answer. So they're getting ready to build New Hampshire, and they wanted to put suites up on there, and the county would not let him because they didn't have a fire truck with a ladder tall enough to get to the suites. So Bob said, "I'll buy a damn fire truck for you." So he paid $325,000 for a fire truck so that the fire company could go to the suites.
Yeah.
And nothing was going to stand in his way, just like with you. Nothing was going to stand in your way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's something. So when was the first time you were over the wall?
Actually, it was when I helped Kawicki. I probably like one leg just to wash the windshield. But when I helped Michael Waltrip, and I did it for nothing, we went and we raced Michigan. It was kind of fun because we went and raced Michigan, and they had the people they needed or whatever. So we went to Michigan. This is when they got Mike Beam for crew chief. And then we went the next week. We went to Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen got rained out, and it was like, so we had to go the next day. And half the pit crew guys, they had jobs, so we had to go back. So I was Michael Waltrip's jack man, all steel jacks at Watkins Glen. And really, when it got rained out, it didn't bother me. I was like, man, I don't have to buy a hotel room tonight. That's what I thought. I was like, man, I don't have to pay for a hotel room tonight. I can just stay here. This before Michael Waltrip offered me a place to stay.
Yeah. How long were you with Michael?
Just 2 races, but maybe 3. I lived with him for maybe 2 months.
Oh, did you?
In between, yeah, because he said, "You come stay with me." So I drove back and forth to Welcome from Statesville, and it was right there off of 40.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's how we did it. So, but he was a trip. He was real good. I can remember he didn't make any money neither. I can remember coming to the racetrack because you have cell phones back then. Here's the phone bill. You owe me $25 or whatever it was. I was like, okay, I got to pay him up for his phone bill,
Was he as crazy off the track as he was on?
Yeah, he was pretty crazy. One time I came in, and we're going to Bristol that week, and I came in, and he had one of his big trophies on his neck, laying sideways going like this back and forth. I mean, what are you doing? He goes, "I'm trying to get my neck stronger for Bristol this week."
Jeez. Yeah, anytime he's in town, he always comes by here. We always do a little interview with him.
Yeah.
And he's always hawking his beer or whatever he's got going on. He's an amazing guy.
He's a great person.
Oh, man. We're going to take a quick break with the guy who would not take no for an answer, John Mulloy.
Yay!
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. At Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees, it's all about making you happy. Beach Boys Embroidery can customize your athletic golf apparel, caps, hats, badges, buttons, magnets, backpacks, bags, totes, clocks, watches, and of course, T-shirts. Sure, they're at 2033 South Ridgewood Avenue in South Daytona, and they're waiting for you to call now. 386-255-5880. Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees. Let Aloha Marine get you on the water with huge discounts on great brands like Bayliner, Carolina Skiff, Hurricane, Key West, and Regal. Pay as little as $169 a month with 10% down and approved credit. Don't wait. Get to Aloha Marine, 1700 North Nova Road, Holly Hill, Monday through Saturday. 47 years and always better than boat show prices. We're back from where it all began, racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim.
Hey!
Oh, boy. Thank you so much. We're here with Rich Combs and with John Mulloy. And this segment's being brought to you locally by Staples on International Speedway Boulevard. Anything for the office. In fact, we were there last week, and they hooked us up big time. They were wonderful people. And they have good taste in the shows that they sponsor, too. They like us, and we like them, for sure. So, John, let's see. I'm trying to think of, you were with Michael for about 2 months. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then where'd you go from there? You're kind of bouncing from place to place back then, weren't
I was
you?
looking for a job. When I was with Michael, that's when I went to Richard, and that's when I told him I'd work for free. And that's when I got on the Childress's. It was a Wrangler car, and I was interested because the first race I went to on the Wrangler car was Bristol. We won Bristol. Next week we went to Darlington. We won Darlington. Next week after that we won Richmond. And it was like, darn, man, I would be happy just to win one race in the whole career, let alone win 3 in a row. And then at the end of the year, we won the championship, and I got to go to New York and go to Waldorf and the whole deal. And it was like,
you got to sleep inside?
Yeah, I sure did.
That's good.
I mean, I had to pinch myself, because it was like, man, I remember sometimes walking out looking at the truck. It's like, man, I really did make it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
God, that must have been fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah, and how was Earnhardt to work with?
He was good. I mean, he was tough.
Was he?
I mean, he but he was, I mean, fair. He gave it great bonuses.
Did he really?
Yeah, and he was, I mean, there's probably nobody I ever met any tougher. I mean, any athlete or anything else. I mean, this, I mean, mentally tough as can be.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was till 1990 before I got on the pit crew. So I had to work there for a couple of years and just travel to the races and just be pit help, things like that.
Yeah.
Because you had to pay your dues. I mean, it wasn't like you came off the street. And
Yeah.
that's when I became the tire carrier.
I'll be darned.
90, yeah.
Oh, no kidding. You know, you were one of the flying aces, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
If you remember those ads, the
Oh.
flying aces guys coming over the wall, he was one of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I bet that was really something,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was, I mean, and also, too, when we started, there's no pit road speed.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that this morning. There
Yeah.
was no pit road speed back then.
No.
And those guys were just whizzing right by your butt, weren't
Yeah.
they?
Well, they try to brush you back, especially tire carrier and jack man.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yep.
Not good. Did you ever get scared?
Only time I ever really got hit was I did not let go of the tires, and I think Kyle hit me.
Oh, really?
And it hit me, and it kind of like spun me around, but I just grabbed them as hard as I could, and the tires didn't come out of my hands and stuff like that. But as for getting scared, no. If you're scared, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, once you see that car coming in, and it's 2 or 3, when you go and it's 2 or 3 stalls down or whatever, it's like you got a job to do, and you got to do it right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a story when I first did it or whatever. And Daytona was my first race carrying tires.
Really?
Yeah, no pressure.
No.
And
Not at all.
and Richard came out to me and said, "Don't up it." He says, "We got somebody to replace you."
Oh, no kidding.
And Will Lynn was like, "Don't listen to him. Don't even listen to him. Just do what we were practicing doing." And the thing is we hardly practiced back then because everyone had to work on the cars.
Yeah.
I mean, so we didn't practice hardly at all. We just our practice was at the racetrack, and even though and it was like. I mean, we didn't practice really till Petrie came along.
Oh, no kidding.
No.
I'll be darned.
Uh-uh.
Now, what was your job in the shop back then?
Well, I started as a fabricator, then I was a mechanic, did all electrical, did the interiors, did crush panels, helped them, if they needed, whatever needed to be done in the fab shop. You had to do everything. And I know I look at pictures or whatever from 1987. We won the championship. There was 17 people that worked on the cars. That was including the motor room and everything
Holy
else.
cow.
And Chocolate said it best. We didn't work full time. We worked all the time.
That's right. That's exactly right. Old Chocolate, he's a trip, isn't he?
He's a good person.
Boy,
he's
he's
a great
great.
person.
From a history standpoint, what he's just telling us is a benchmark for when really the pit crews started and training and moving ahead, because prior to that, it was what you could do, and then all of a sudden you're a team, you're working together, and all of the timing. Good benchmark.
One of the things Richard would say we did was he wanted to go. He had people from the outside that helped him for years, but he wanted everybody that worked in the shop or worked on the cars be on the pit crew. So they kind of changed that then, and that's one of the things is no matter how bad the car was, how wrecked it was, we would fix the car. And even like when we took the motor out at Dover and changed the cam, and one time we wrecked at Dover, and I mean the right front crane horn was bent 90 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
And Petrie said, we're going to have to load this up, and Will Lynn's like, no, we're fixing this car.
No kidding.
Yeah, Will was kind of the person behind. Will Lynn was a person behind the scenes that was really like the people who. The person you went to when you had a question.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, he's still around too.
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's still around. He lives up in Baden Lake or whatever that is up.
Oh yeah.
Outside of Lexington, North Carolina. I just saw him maybe 3-4 months ago. He's
No
Will's a great person.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like behind. He should have really been a crew chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was that good.
Well, that's something. Yeah, Will he never changes either.
What's that?
He never changes.
No.
He's the same now.
He's the same
as he was
person.
then?
Yeah. Yeah. He's really a good person. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what Childress did. He didn't have much of a driving career, but man, you put him over there behind the desk, and he really knew how to make it work, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He knew how to bring the right people together. Good motivator. I mean, we didn't have as much money as the people down in Charlotte. I mean, I think that's what helped the team so much because we're up in Welcome, so we're like on an island up there.
Yeah.
And the people didn't come and go like they did. I mean, they tell me in Charlotte, you go there and you see somebody picking their toolbox with a forklift going to another team, and
Yeah.
at Childress, everyone stayed there. I mean, I was there for 10 years. And
Were you really?
yeah, and I mean,
Wow, no kidding.
So all that, I mean, that's probably what helped that team come together.
Yeah. What years were you there?
I started in '87 and left at the end of '96.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Was it kind of hard to leave?
Oh, it was real hard to leave. I left the money was out there, and it was like you almost had to start listening to what people were offering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, that's probably the wrong reason to leave. I don't know if I would have done it over again if I would have stayed, because I said Richard was so good to me. But it's like you have to look after what you got to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, were you still going over the wall?
Oh yeah, I went to the wall, over the wall. When I left there, I went to Bill Davis for a year. Went over the wall, Bill Davis, rest his soul. Bill is a great person to work for, but I wanted to win races again. So a friend of mine at Daytona came up to me and said that Gibbs was looking to hire, and I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you probably wouldn't be interested." I said, "Well," I said, "we want this person to stay in the shop and not travel." And I called my wife Trish, and I said, "We're moving to Charlotte." I said, I'm taking a job with Gibbs." I said, "It's too good a deal to turn down." And Bobby was coming up, and Bobby was running good every week, and the 20 car was going to be a year out from when it was, things like that. So, and when I went there, I didn't go over the wall. And then after I was there, Joe came up to me one day and said, "You're Earnhardt's tire carrier?" I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "We need a tire carrier for the 20 car." I said, "Well, let me think about it." So I went home and I asked my wife, and I said, "I think I can be a tire carrier on the 20 car." And I said, "Man, these guys here get paid like stupid money." and she said, "Well, remember, we moved from Winston-Salem to here, and she's a graphic artist, and she had all her clients up there. We moved to Charlotte. We didn't. And she was starting over. She said, 'Well, you can go do it, but,' and I was like, 'Yeah, I got to keep my end of the bargain in this.' So I said to Joe, I said, 'No, I don't want to carry tires anymore.' Plus, I was getting beat up."
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how that deal went down there. It's like, I just I didn't do it. Joe was disappointed. He didn't like to take no for an answer. He was a great person to work for too.
Is he really?
Joe, JD, Coy, all of them.
Yeah. A lot of tragedy in that family.
Yeah, it is. It's a shame.
Sad.
It's a shame.
Yeah. But Ty's doing okay.
What? Oh, hey.
Ty, yeah.
Yeah, I think you look at it, it's like he should have won a race.
Yeah. Yeah, he's strong enough.
He's strong enough. I mean, sooner or later he'll break through. Once he breaks through one, he'll get more. I mean, it's like obviously he's a good driver.
Yeah.
So,
and he's aggressive.
Yes, he
can
is.
be very aggressive for a little guy. That's for sure.
I tell you, his dad, Coy, was a great person.
Was he?
Yeah, and Heather, I think Heather was like doing something with her Gibbs, not like running. I mean, more into the management side of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, was Gibbs hands-on pretty much?
He would hire the right people, and Jimmy Maycar was the right person. I always said if Jimmy Maycar wasn't there, the place would have gone out of business.
No kidding.
Jimmy Maycar ran it like his own team. And
Really?
And Jimmy still works. I saw Jimmy back in March or whatever, and he still comes in and works like one day a week or whatever, things like that, just to kind of walk in and do what he's got to do. But he has stepped back. But Jimmy's as smart as they come.
I'll be darned. When we had Childress here, we had a little fella that was in the audience, Trey Mills. He's 14. Running late models out on the dirt.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's 17 now, and he's kind of growing finally.
Yes.
But Childress said, is that kid the real deal? I said, yeah, he's the real deal. So he pulls out a $100 bill and signs it and gives it to him and says, "This is your contract." I don't know if it's going to amount to anything, but it sure made his day.
I've seen Trey Mills run at Alltech.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he was there last week, wasn't he?
I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm just saying I've seen him run at Alltech.
He was here a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him about, "You still have that $100 bill that's signed?" And he says, "Yes."
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't. I would hope he wouldn't spend that.
He's going to go rolling into Welcome, North Carolina one day, and he's going to have that,
That's right.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to run asphalt. He said it's all about the dirt.
Well, that's good, though. Yeah. I mean, actually, dirt racing is probably my favorite. I mean, dirt late miles is my favorite form of racing. I'll be to Volusia tomorrow night to see the late miles.
Oh, really?
Sprint cars there, too. But
yeah. The sprint cars at Volusia are insane.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, we had Bob, the announcer, last week here from Volusia. And very outgoing, and he's the perfect announcer for that track.
Yeah, he is. He does a great job. Plus, I came last week to listen to him. He did
that's right. You were here.
Job. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So, yeah.
So, is there anything you regret?
No. Only thing I regret is maybe not doing it earlier. I wish I'd done it when I was 20 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's the only thing I can say I regret. I mean, just to go do it or whatever. So.
But everything fell into place when it was supposed to.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, real quickly, I think you did it at the right time. everybody says, I wish I'd have done it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But probably it wouldn't have happened if you'd have started earlier. And Robert Frost has a poem, and I can't repeat it, but it talks about the heat of being in the heat of youth, and then he talks about the frost of age. And I think the Ty story you have there, I think he's in the heat of youth.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter, that little bit of frost of age is going to get him, and he's going to be a slam dunk. That's how I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I always thought, because I quit working in racing in 2012, and I said I did it for all the golden ages, and I want to leave on my own terms because most people get aged out.
Yeah.
Where it's not your choice to leave. And I came home one day and I was like, it's not fun anymore. It's all engineer driven, everything's like that. Not saying that's bad, because I think the racing right now is actually pretty good. I mean, it's competitive. There's every week there's probably 18 cars that can win, 15 cars that can win. But I mean, it was just time to walk away.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll be right back with John Mulloy, everybody.
John?
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Racing's original North Turn is our broadcast headquarters. If you're looking for a good drink, great entertainment, and the best in food, they're right on the beach at Racing's Original North Turn. Come on down to dinner tonight. Here are a couple of testimonials. These are actual testimonials from people who have enjoyed the North Turn. Been there many times, always great food and drinks, great location on the beach. And another, what a great experience. It's my new favorite restaurant in the Daytona Beach area, Racing's Original North Turn on South Atlantic Avenue. That's A1A in Ponce Inlet, about 3.2 miles south of the Dunlawton Bridge and A1A intersection. It's Racing's Original North Turn, a restaurant, museum, bar, gift shop, live music. That's Racing's North Turn. Racing's Original North Turn has been voted by you Best Beach Bar Top 10 year after year after year. We're back from where it all began. Racing's Original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim.
Thank you, everybody.
Buzzy.
You're very kind. Appreciate that. Hope you're enjoying your lunch. Hope you're treating your waitresses or waiters fairly. And we're here with Rich Combs and John Mulloy. And this segment is being brought to you locally by Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, voted one of the top 5 markets in the country by USA Weekend. Visit our Shop Now network and our Shop Now at Daytona Flea and Farmers Market Facebook page for the latest in vendor tours. And it's Tony time.
Tony!
Yay. All right.
Thanks for being here, John. The stories are great.
Thanks for having me.
Were you pitting for Dale when he rolled the car on the back stretch of Daytona, got out, and got back in?
Actually, no. That was 97, and I left at the end of 96. So I was not pitting for the car. But I was pitting for the car when the tires came off.
Oh, were you really?
In turn 1 in Charlotte.
Yep.
And I remember the Kowicki and Ernie Irvin were racing on pit road. You know, pit road speed. Hit the car and he knocked the crush panels out. And so, I mean, it was like a parachute in the back of the car. So we came in to fix the car, and Dale came in, and they, back then you had a person that busted off the left side lug nuts. Well, Dale heard on the radio, "Don't go." But all he heard was "go." So that's how the tires fell off at the end of pit road. And I remember looking, and we're like looking around going, I looked up at Richard, and he goes, "Go." So I picked up the tires and carried both tires all the way down, and then the pit road, my arms were like crushed.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny because I carried them down, and Chocolate's behind me. I said, "Chocolate, here's a tire." So every time you see a picture, you see Chocolate rolling the tire. It's like, man, I carried them all the way down the end of pit road for this or whatever. So we went down there, and the guy, they were hooking the car up, and it was myself and Will Lynn, Danny Lawrence, Bobby Moody, Chocolate. We all ran down there, and you see him down there or whatever, and they're coming down with a rollback to drag the car up in the thing, and Danny Lawrence picked up the chains and threw them over the top of the fence into the crowd for the in the infield, and we carried the stuff down. We put the jack, and we jacked the car up. We put the tires back on. No electric impacts back then, so you had to do it by hand, and all that other stuff. And so that's how we got the car back on the racetrack. And I think we're all fine, but Richard paid the fine. But I don't remember what it was. But I remember looking at Richard. He goes, "Just go." It's okay.
There is another Dale Earnhardt story. I've lost the year and the track, and that Bill Elliott was leading the race. Dale was second, but they were pitted differently, and Elliott would have blocked Dale.
Mm-hmm.
Pit crews, Dale's crew pitted Elliott's car. Elliott's car pitted Dale's car. Is that familiar at all?
No, that's not familiar. If that happened, that was before that. Only thing I can say about Elliott's crew was always parked next to us. And for the pit crew competition, we had Elliott's car blew up. I think it was his backup car. Might have been the race car. I can't remember because we didn't. It wasn't like we had a car. This is Rockingham, and those guys weren't going to have a pit crew competition. Well, we entered a second car, number 22, with Rodney Combs, and it was a Hoosier deal. So we did it for tires. It was a park and start, probably one of the first ones, and we gave them the car so the team could use our car for Elliott's team for the pit crew competition. So Elliott drove that car, and they pitted that car. But those guys were like, they were like next to us. They're like family. Even like when Rich passed away, we went to the funeral and things like that. So,
That's a good story.
Thank you for
really
your question.
Good story,
Yeah.
Very good, Tony. He always comes up with a good one. Yeah, you had mentioned Mike Rich. That was a tough deal.
Yeah, it was a bad deal. It was right down a few pit stalls down from us. You know, so.
Right.
Yeah, and that's when they came up with the pit road speed, and they came up with like odd even, and I mean it took a long time to work it out, but I mean it was, I tell you, it was a rush without a pit road speed.
I'll bet.
Yeah,
I'll bet that was something.
Mm-hmm.
They had a thing on Sirius Satellite the other day on Dave Moody's show about the photographer or the cameraman that stands out in the smoke while the donuts are going on, and how they have kept from hitting anybody by now, and is it necessary? And, they've got drones now. They can do that sort of thing. They don't have to have a live person out there standing in the smoke. And I got to thinking, it's probably a pretty good thing.
I think it's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm not much of I'm old school. I don't like burnouts.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Using up the equipment.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't work on it,
That's right.
But it's like, I'm kind of old school. I'd rather see them take the checkered flag and
or do a Polish victory lap.
Do something like that. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of us old guys feel that way. It's the burnouts are exciting, but it doesn't add to the victory to me.
Yeah.
I want to savor in the victory, and a Polish victory lap is okay, but that's as far as I want to go.
Yeah, I agree. So I mean, I think it's come to its time where it's not like anything special anymore.
Yeah. Ron Hornaday is the one who started that whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, over in the truck series. He's a little crazy. He did it one time. He was driving the Richard Petty Experience. He was driving one time, and he did a burnout with one of the Petty cars and blew the motor in pit road.
Oh, wow.
Right there.
Yeah, that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Very easy to do.
For sure.
I want to get back to one other thing. I just happened to think about something. It's sort of off the subject, but we were talking about Ty Gibbs, and I was saying and about you moving into NASCAR or to moving into racing. The heat of youth and then the frost of age makes a difference in how you. Just this week, and I don't know if you follow SEC football and ACC football, but Clemson, always a powerhouse, winner for the last 10 years or so, championship. I think for the last 10 years they haven't had a player that has not won some kind of championship. They've won that many championships that everybody left. And they're having trouble this year. And I was talking to a guy yesterday that's he's an executive, a high-end type guy in the banking business and flies in a different group of people than we do. And I asked him about Clemson because he's a Clemson fan. And he says, well, let me tell you what I'm doing. Because Clemson has lost a couple of games, they know they're a good team and they practice well, but they're not committing on the. So they hired him. Actually, I think it's a gift, not a hire. He goes in and sits down and talks with the Clemson players, trying to bring them back to real life.
Wow.
And it's an outsider saying, here's what you need to do. And he was telling me about having gone to dinner with one of the running backs. And he says, I'm talking to him, just trying to get a feel for him, make sure he understands what we're doing. He says, he didn't know who the Beverly Hillbillies were.
You're kidding.
And he says, I told this boy, you got to come up and lead life, you know. But that's the type of thing you need to get young guys moving on. You need somebody that's got that pizzazz, you know, and it gets you going.
Yeah,
so.
somebody who's already made it, too,
Yeah.
so he knows what he's speaking of.
But, you know, it's a strange thing, but I just happened to think about it, and I wanted to share it with you. So,
well, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with Larry.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Daytona Flea and Farmers Market is still the one for great savings and the best variety. Whether you need flowers and trees for your home or you're looking for great prices on Daytona Beach souvenirs, the market is the place to go. The market features 1,000 booths, 2 air-conditioned malls, a restaurant, and 9 snack shacks. Hops Grill features gourmet burgers and garden blend salads. Treat yourself to a great variety of brat and hot dog creations at the Dog House, or enjoy a refreshing drink at the Seltzer Oasis. The market is open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and is 90% undercover, so you can shop rain or shine. There's never a charge for parking or admission. Enjoy our monthly classic car cruise-in on the first Saturday of every month, and garage sale weekend, the third weekend of every month. See all we have to offer at DaytonaFleaMarket.com or like us on Facebook. Discover Daytona's most unique shopping experience, the Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, just a mile west of the Speedway. We're back from where it all began, racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that very much. We're here with Rich Combs, too, trusty sidekick. I wonder what makes you trusty. What do you think? Age or experience, or there's got to be something there?
it's a combination, and I think it's different for everybody.
Yeah, I guess
it's
you're
how
right.
you move into it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll think about that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, this segment's being brought to you locally by Homewood Suites by Hilton over on Bill France Boulevard, right around the corner from the Speedway. Every room is a suite, and it's a complimentary breakfast and happy hour, and you can't get much better than that. So we could get a little bit better than that because we got Larry. Hey, how's it going,
Larry?
Larry?
Hi, John. Thanks for being here, John. We appreciate you coming by. The self-made guy, I understand. That's like really cool to go up to people and introduce yourself and say, man, I need some work. and I'm going to help you, you know. But Earnhardt, man, you had some disappointments in the Daytona 500, that's for sure. Your time there and the first one that I was at was 95, first race live. And that's when Earnhardt went in and got tires with 10 laps to go. And the tires went away with about 2 laps to go. Didn't quite make it to the front, but we thought he was going to win. Do you remember that race? Sterling is who led him.
Sterling beat him, but
Yeah.
they had a little help.
Oh.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like they kicked it into another gear, and I'm not going to go any
Yeah, we
farther
know
to say
that.
that, but I worked with
Yeah.
Tony Glover,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
they had a little bit of help. So let's just go that way.
Man.
But it was I got to where at the end of Daytona, everyone be up on the pit wall, things like that. I went back and sat by the tires. I thought something's going to happen again. I don't even want to sit up there. And nothing. I mean, just like 90 when we ran over the
Yeah.
piece, and that came off our own car, which I mean a lot of people don't know, but it was a piece from a Lakewood bell housing. And what it was, we didn't cut all the weight off back then because cars could weigh 3,700 pounds.
Yep.
And on the Lakewood bell housing, there was like a little bracket on the side for a Z-bar or whatever for a 55 to 57 Chevy is why it was welded on there. Well, that piece fell off, and you could look under the car where it hit the ground, hit underneath the car, and hit the right rear tire.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, and then went through Ricky Rudd, who was driving the 5 car's grill, and then somebody said they gave it to the 10 car.
Oh.
But it just
That's fate, though, man.
Every year, the
yeah.
disappointment was just unreal.
Yeah, I can see. I'd be back sitting on tires my own self.
Yeah.
there was times when it was really hard to watch. You just knew something was going to happen.
Something's going to happen. I'm glad he won in '98.
So, did you ever have a race where you thought you didn't have a chance, or what race did you pit crew in that was your most exciting?
Probably Daytona. It's got to be. Daytona means everything to me. I mean, it's like when I go by the racetrack, it's like, damn, man, it's Daytona. You know, it's pretty cool to see that. You know, I mean, Daytona still. It means a lot to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like I said to my wife, it's my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
So,
there you are, and you're here.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's very nice.
Did you have a favorite driver?
As in
easiest to work with, maybe?
Bobby Labonte is the best driver. Bobby
Really?
Labonte,
Wow.
he was so good to work with. Bobby was so nice. You asked him something. I talked to him at Daytona for the 500 this year, and we sat on the side. We probably talked 45 minutes. People were coming up, and we talked about everything, about running and cycling and heart rates, and we talked about everything but racing.
Really?
But he was Bobby Labonte. He's the nicest driver that I've ever worked with. And a good way to say that is somebody says he's the nicest good driver I ever worked with. So,
Okay.
When they first come along, they're all kind of nice, but then they start they don't come around as much as they used to. But Bobby always came around. You wouldn't meet a nicer person.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Were you with him when he won the championship?
Yeah, I was there in 2000, won the championship.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got to go to New York again then, right?
New York again. I'm fortunate to have been there 7 times.
Really?
Wow.
And
That's incredible.
And I'm glad all my championships are won the old point system.
Yeah.
And not made for, this is how it is now, and obviously they're looking at changes and things like that, but you had to work all year to get to where you're at. But so it was good.
Wow, 7 times. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been happy to win 1 race, let alone 7 championships.
Yeah, really. Now, were they all at the Waldorf?
All of them at the Waldorf.
Yeah, it's quite a place, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think my first 15 years in racing, I think I had 7 championships.
Really?
Yeah, it was like almost every other year.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's like I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Maybe 15 or 16 years, it was like.
Jeez, it's got to give you a heck of a rush, too, doesn't
it did.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about the Waldorf is that I had to pay $25 for a glass jar of cashews about that big.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it'd be a souvenir. No, it was on the bill.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the name of this show is The Legends of Racing. We got a real legend here. 7-time champion. You can't do any better.
That's for sure.
You're too nice, Rich.
Well, it's true. It's just not a household word, but your experience is, I'd put it up against anybody out there.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled with the stories. I want to hear more. Can you stay over another hour?
Oh, I sure can.
Wow, this is. Please do come back. We can't go an extra hour, but man, these are real racing stories. This is from the heart. This is what we want to hear. That's good. Thank you very much. I'm not cutting you off. I'm just, I'm thrilled. So I'm glad you're here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's
an honor to be here.
You were talking about Kowicki had some idiosyncrasies. Didn't he used to spy on the guys?
Yeah, but the guys that told me that worked for him, he would if you're working late, he'd come in the shop at night, kind of look around to see what was going on, things like that. So, yeah, he's pretty tough to work for. I can
That's
say
what I
that.
hear.
And it's like it just didn't work out to where I worked for him, but I knew him enough for that, and could go talk to him or whatever. And he come up to you at the racetrack because he always wanted to know what was going on for Childress' team. He goes, "What kind of hours you work?" Then he asks you what the weather looks really good out here and stuff. And Harold Elliott, who was the team manager and engine builder for at the back then with Blue Max Racing, he used to call him Slider because he'd come in, he goes, "Hey man, look at the weather, man, it's beautiful out here. What kind of hours you work over there?" And then he'd go on another question a few minutes later. He goes, "How much they paying you?" things like that. So he was trying to figure out what other teams were doing to help his own team, but that's just how he was, because he was always thinking. He ran the race. Even though he had the crew chief and stuff like that, he ran the race in the car. He knew when he wanted fuel, he knew when he wanted tires, he knew whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah, he really was a genius, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's very smart.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we inherited all his stuff from his mother for the NASCAR Hall of Fame, we got his textbooks from college. And you look through these textbooks, and almost every page there's yellow highlighter. And he was diligent about studying, and he was just an amazing thing. I've got his hammock. I was over there picking up a load of stuff from Mrs. Kowicki, and there was a barrel full of stuff, just junk. And there was this hammock in there. And I said, "What are you going to do with that stuff?" She says, "I'm going to go ahead and give it to Goodwill." I said, "Really?" I said, "What you going to do with the hammock?" "Well, it's going to." I said, "You mind if I take it?" She said, "No, go ahead." And he had a bad back, and he liked to sling out there in the hammock, and made his back feel a lot better. So I've got it out in my garage. Alan Kowicki's his hammock. I thought that was kind of a neat piece there.
Jerry, his dad, had passed by then, didn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jerry's a very nice guy. Engine builder. USAC Racing. His dad had a resume like you wouldn't believe.
Oh boy, you're not kidding. Norm Nelson.
Yep.
All those Mopars that he won those races with.
Yep.
Jerry Kowicki.
Jerry Kowicki.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our star of the hour, Mr. John Mulloy.
John.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Welcome to Homewood Suites by Hilton in Daytona Beach. You're right in the middle of all the action. Daytona International Speedway, the airport, One Daytona, Florida's newest entertainment and retail destination, and of course, the world's most famous beach. You'll love our newly remodeled 1- and 2-bedroom suites, along with our popular King Studios. You won't need your full kitchen, as Homewood Suites Daytona serves up complimentary breakfast and evening social. It's like home away from home. Go to HomewoodDaytona.com for Homewood Suites by Hilton in Daytona Beach. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim.
Hey!
Thank you, everybody. And Rich Combs is here, too, cleaning up after the spills I make.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the one team that you worked for that we haven't talked about yet is Ganassi. How was old Chip to work for?
He was good. He spent more time with the IndyCar team, and he only came around maybe once or twice a month, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, once a week, maybe things like that. But he had good people in place. He had Glover, and he had different managers and stuff like that. And when I went to work there, we had Sterling Marlin, and we had McMurray, and we had Mir. So it was really a pretty good team. It was real good.
Yeah.
But Sterling, that was probably, I came in 04 and 08. We had, that's when the economy crashed and things like that, and everything kind of changed for drivers and stuff. Then Montoya came, which was pretty cool. Montoya was a pretty cool guy. Everyone remembers him for hitting the jet dryer, but it's like it wasn't his fault. It's like the truck. He came in the pits and said there's something wrong, and they sent him back out there, and that's when the truck arm broke, and off he went and hit the jet dryer. But it's like you look at Monaco and all these Formula One races and IndyCar championships, Indy 500, things like that. Should have won Indy, speeding on pit road, the 400, the Brickyard, things like that. But it was a great place to work. Great engineering was really good because it was you had engineers that came from Indy cars, and my boss, he came from F1. He worked for Jaguar.
Really?
And I learned so much from this guy. His name was Alistair Fordham. Works for Toyota TRD now, but it's this guy. And when I went there, all I did was electronics, just the interior, electronic, nothing else. Because racing got big when you started, you had to do everything. You had to fabricate, you had to be a mechanic, you had to do pit walls, stuff like that. Then it kind of got, when I was at Gibbs, all I did was the interiors, the seats and the belts and the wiring and all that kind of stuff. I went to Ganassi, and I said, and Andy Graves hired me, another great person. And said, what do you want me to do? He said, all I want you to do is the electrical and the wire. And I said, that's it? And he goes, yep, electrical and wiring. That's all you got to do. I said, okay. So it was like, okay. So it was like, it just got where you're so specialized in what you did. So,
I'll be darned.
yeah.
But Chip, you hardly ever saw him. He's like the Phantom, huh?
Well, he came by and he mostly, I mean, he didn't really, he was like a lot of the car owners, you know, like Gibbs and Bill Davis and Childress were the ones I worked for. He'd come and talk. Chip kind of like, he would only talk to a few people, mostly management people. That's just how it was. And it's like, but I mean, I guess he felt he needed to put people in his place to, you know, wherever the stuff needed to be.
Yep.
I did go to the IndyCar shop one time and work for a week because we're starting to go to the EFI stuff and all that stuff. So I went up there because that's all the Indy cars would have. The IndyCar shop was pretty interesting. It was kind of neat going up there because they had like on the walls, he had the cars stacked up like toys going all the way up. All the Indy cars. There's probably like 6 or 7 Indy cars like stacked up, and 2 of them right there. It's like pretty neat to see all the Indy cars stacked up. Yeah,
that's amazing. Well, he sure has the record to prove that he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I just saw the other day. He's like one of the winningest car owners like since. I don't know what it is because of the, you know, the 24 hours and the all the rest of this stuff, you know, the Indy cars, things like that. Even though he didn't win much in Cup, you know, he still did win. I mean, when it became Earnhardt Ganassi, I mean, they did win the 500 and win other things. So it was nice to see McMurray come back. I mean, he had McMurray and Montoya, so I mean, he had really good drivers. So I mean, it was all kind of went that way. But like I said, the economy really it killed everything in NASCAR, and I don't think it's ever really bounced back.
Yeah, I think that there's still pains from that era. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that Target had actually laid out the shop for Ganassi.
They laid out the shop, and also to the building that I was in. Who builds the Target stores built the building.
Really?
And actually, when I went to work there, I went to work in Mooresville, and I was only like a couple months, and then we went to the new shop. So it was nice going to the new shop.
Yeah, makes it real nice, doesn't it?
Real nice, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No regrets?
No, I don't have no. I mean, like I said, I did the golden ages. I think I got out at the right time. Even when I got out or whatever, I had some. I moved to Myrtle Beach, and I had a lot. I mean, I bet you the first couple of years, I get a phone call every 3-4 months. You interested in coming back? So
really?
It made me feel good that people wanted to have me come back to work, and they were good teams too. I mean, it was. I had some pretty good opportunities to go back, and I was like, nah, I think it's time to get out. It's time to walk away. There's other things I wanted to do in life, and I knew that, you know, I wanted to do them, travel, do triathlons, just other things and stuff like that. So,
well, you see this guy here. He really is an unsung hero, and you wonder how many folks like that are in racing that have the same sort of resume that nobody knows who they are. It's really a shame.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're at the top of the list as far as I'm concerned.
I appreciate it. Another thing too is like when you worked at Childress's, your job was to work on the cars, and when you saw a camera, you walked away.
Oh, really?
Chocolate took care of it for you. Don't worry about that. But I'm just saying, but for the people who worked on the cars, like people don't know who, like Bobby Moody and some of the people. I mean, these are the people that, I mean, built the cars and things like that, but you weren't there to politic and things like that. You were there to work on the car. And I remember one time I was there, and I went down the other end of the garage now because I wanted to see somebody who worked on another car. I don't know what car it was or whatever. And I came back. Kirk says, "Where are you at?" I said, "Down there talking to so-and-so." And he goes, "Your car is right here. You need to be around this car."
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's how it was. Yeah. You weren't there to walk down the other end of the garage and talk to. You were there to focus on your own car.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Now, were you there when Bonnet tried to come back?
Yes.
You were with Childress?
Yes.
Yeah. When he flipped that car at Talladega, I figured, hot dog, that's great. He's got his answer. He's going to quit. And he didn't quit.
He didn't quit. Yeah, I wish he would have.
Yeah.
The car was pretty tore up. I mean, I looked at the car. I pulled the seat out of the car. I looked at the seat. Everything, all the integrity of the car, everything was good. And he ran it, and it was a seat, Earnhardt type seat. It wasn't his own seat. Yeah. Things like that. But it was pretty tore up. Same thing too when Earnhardt broke his sternum at Talladega. The car was sitting there, and we were making our own ball joints. And you're supposed to run a move ball joint. Well, we're making our own because there's too much slop in them. And I can remember Gary Nelson coming up and looking at us and said to me, he goes, "What's that with that ball joint?" I said, "I don't know anything. You need to go talk to him over there." Yeah. So.
That's so.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a heck of a show.
Oh, wonderful.
And we just can't thank you enough for being here, John. It was wonderful.
Oh,
Thank
John.
you very much.
We got a couple of folks we got to say thank you to. We got Danny on the board over there.
Danny.
Everything just super duper good. And Mike on the sign. He's a heck of a sign guy. And Martin Clark, we thank you so much for hooking us up with John. Martin's got 95 and Vine, the premier wine shop. Wonderful place there in Port Orange. And Tony and Larry, thank you for your questions. And Olin, thank you for gracing us with your presence. He's our resident legend right there. He goes back to the Junior Johnson days.
Oh, wow.
And the mystery motor.
Okay.
Yeah. He can tell a story.
Oh, I bet.
Most of them are true. That's for sure. Yeah.
I'd like to thank the fans. I mean, the fans are what gave me this living and things like that. And without the fans being there every week, week in, week out, and supporting us, so I'd like to thank everyone that came here and came out for today. And thanks to these guys for having me on the show.
Yep. Well, it was a first-class show. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we'd love to have you back one of these days.
Just right down the road now.
Okay, well, I got your number.
Well, from the fan side, we appreciate what you've done. And everybody here and a lot of the people listening to this show, you were the background of what they loved and what they were looking at. And I'm sure if they're listening, they all know who you are now.
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic. And we got a lot more of those guys we got to talk to.
Mm-hmm. You betcha. Yeah, we do. Yeah, as long as guys like you are out there, we'll have folks for the show, for sure. Okay, well, we'll have another show next week. No, not God forbid. Yeah, God willing. And we'll see you all next week. Take care.
Hey.
The Legends of Racing radio show originates live from the very spot where beach racing began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. Join us next time.